Hi there, welcome back. So let's take now this wireframe that we've built for the rear end and let's start blocking in the surfaces, and we'll go from the rear, the side, and to the front, and this is how we're going to block in everything. So let's jump in and do this. So I'll take the rear wireframe, I did as I wanted there, take the mesh there, and I'll take this curve that we've generated a long time ago at the top. This is how we start building everything. And of course, we've got this mesh reference here, but a very important way an easy way to reference everything is if you look at Netcarshow and you see very detailed pictures, you can read a lot of the detail in there, and it's going to be a lot easier to build. So you see that this supposed theory would be somewhere here. So we build a surface from that edge down there. That would be the ideal case. One edge going through there. And we see that we've got a bit of negative there, which is fading out into this area. So what I'll do, I'll line up this accordingly. So let's jump in here. And now that we've seen that, we can take this curve and adjust it accordingly. We bring it down a little bit here so it builds kind of a half moon with the rest of the car. The rest of that edge up there. That's it. Now the next step would be to take this curve and let's extend it. Oops. So that will need a bit of fine tuning, which I'll do in a minute. So I'll take that curve, copy it, put a pivot on the middle of it, move it up there. Yes, and then let's get it on the same plane. So I'll rotate it this way. And then what I'll try to do is to scale it a little bit, non-proportionally. We hit the same area that we've got on the other one. There we go. So that's roughly it. Now what I'll take this curve, turn it into the same degree like the other one. And what I'll do now is just snap the CVs onto the one that I've just copied. This way I'm not losing the history on the other surfaces that I've generated off of this curve. So as I was saying, the surface is still live and well. Might need a few more CVs. That's about it. This means we won't need the surface anymore. And will we need this one? So let's jump in and build these surfaces. What I'll do, curve here, down in Z, snap it onto that other curve. That's it. Now I'll take that curve. Turn on the grid, put a bit there. And now what I'll do, I'll go in here, edit, duplicate the object, and then I'll scale it across the Y direction as -1 and use it as an instance, which means we've got live curve on the other side, which is basically a clone of this one. Well, now let's bang in a surface in here. Go by rail. There we go. Now, if I move the CV, the surface follows. Okay? It's as easy as that. And then some fine tuning will follow later on. Let's keep doing this. Let's generate these curves here. Profile along this line of this little curve, which will give us this base here on the bumper, and it will also allow for the surface in the pocket for the number plate. And let's do a different approach there. I'll duplicate this curve, move its pivot here, bring it up there. And then I'll just skin here this curve to this surface there. That's it. And now I'll extend this curve here a little bit. Got a longer surface there. And then copy paste this curve. The original, so the one with the lower number. I'll snap the lower point here, the upper one there. This keeps its pivot on the origin, but it has a different curve with this area as well. So same story as above, by rail. So we've got two generation curves, two rail curves. These are generation curves. There we go. And now this curve will serve as a rail, and this lower one, normally you take the longer curves for rails. And there we go. We have generated that area as well. Now what we can do is go in, project onto that surface this curve. I'll project the other one, this one as a reference, as a pure reference. Because what I will do then is bring in here one curve, which is emulating that plane. Keep it on Y0. I'll delete this. Now side projection of that curve onto that surface. That's it. Let's bring it now. The curve that we used to split everything across Y0. There we go. And X projection on that. There we have it. I'll drain this now. And the simplest way of banging in some surfaces in here is basically doing some drafts. So, do a draft in the X direction. Make sure it pierces through the other surface. There we go. Be more generous. Overbuild is the way to do this. This way we also have some angle on it. What I'll do, I'll take that curve. I like this to open up to the side, so I will ever so slightly rotate this way and scale it a little bit. And now I'll do a projection right here. So, sorry, draft. That should do it for the moment, as we will be fine-tuning these as we go along. See, we've got pretty flat surfaces. We'll need to add a crown on them. We will need to tune those, and that will follow shortly. This one is in projection. So split it down the middle. And one more thing, query edit this draft. Let's look at the CV layout. It's pretty clean. Once you turn on here curvature, it cleans it up even better. This one might look a bit different. I'll do the same thing there. This way you know we've got clean drafts to work with. Let's put this one up as well. And that's some quick surfaces there. Let's put this in a different layer. Add them to our work layer. Now we start seeing a bit more of this car. There we go. Let's turn on the mesh. And now we can see where we deviate. Let's turn on these cross sections. Let's make sure that we go inset all the way through this area. So let's bring back the full image. Let's turn off things that we don't want to see there. There we go. And now increase the number of the CVs, push and pull them, and X, so we start getting these sections there. There we go. That's one. Let's take this other one. So what we're doing now, we're adjusting the curves in such a way that we get closer and closer to the mesh itself. And now here we're okay in the middle, So what I'll do, just non-proportional scale this a little bit to push this area more far forward, thus getting us closer to the mesh on this area. There we go. Now let's push these in the Y direction. That's good. We'll push these two as well. There we go. So now we've got a problem here between that line and that line, so we'll need to fine tune these two together. The idea is that we should have highlights running parallel with this edge at the bottom here and parallel up there. For that we might need a few more CVs. Now we need to adjust that curve to suit whatever we've done to this one. So you can see it also in the sections there that that area needs to move a little bit more forward. So let's put the CV onto the center of the curve. Now we need to move the curve a little bit more forward. We'll add CV normal to this curve, to this normal direction. I'll extend this because that moves it off of the X direction that we want in this curve. And now let's roll this that way. Just bring us closer here. Just moving that CV normal to its normal direction, basically. And see, we are getting closer and closer, step by step. And now we will need to fine tune these to each other. Now we're close on there, got pretty decent highlights. Further fine tuning will be done because we need to be able to get from that edge all the way to that point, as I want this area to sit on one curve there. This will enable us to get closer and closer to this, but it can also happen if we run a big blend here, so that's more fine tuning to be done as soon as we have the body side surfaces in as well. So let's keep on going here. Same principle, basically. We've got that surface in there, and we'll take this curve here, the one in the center, start generating some surfaces there as well. So symmetric on that curve. Did a fit curve on the center there, over the CVs to the side. Symmetric curve, do that there. The reason why I've done this is the same as on the other curves, to be able to instance it. There we go. Surface there, like that. Now what we have to do is move that CV up a little bit till we hit that diffuser surfacing, or at least get it similar. Let's check out this picture here. Got a small lip there. And it's shown here. What we can do is get rid of this rail. Take the curve, extend it back here. Build that small lip as we have it here. It's a different section compared to what we have there, so it would be more of a boxy section. Like that. And let's profile these two curves on that surface there. And now let's take these curves in here, bring the CV a little bit up and onto the curve. So there we go, more detail. As we know, detail costs us time. We want to be quick here, so let's just keep building. Now that, I'll take that curve, this one here, and mesh. Surface. What I want to do is generate this. I'll do following step. Monorail, that. That's it. I prefer to keep it clean in this area. I don't want to fully rely on the mesh there. That's what we have. Now, let's project this curve into that. it back. And trim it. And what I'd like to do is now make this line, this surface and this one surface of the same width. So got an easy trick for that. I'll get myself a circle there. What I'm basically doing is I'm trying to find a way to have the angle there, so I know how to project, and that will be this method. That side and that side of that straight line hitting those two lines on the circle are now equal halves. That means that I just need to get that there. Change the projection to X. And there. We don't need these anymore. That's it. Well, I can extend that line. And give myself this box section that I've generated. This way I can run the exact same section through on the side here. And I'll do that by projecting the same line in X direction onto M2. And that's it. That's how we do it. And to be even more precise, what we can do is we can take a normal draft on that current surface there, because that will generate us the exact line that we need as an intersection there to run the same section through on the side. So let's do that. Let's do normal. The other way around. Extend that through. We don't need the history on it. That curve gets extended back to that line there. We intersect these two. That surface there. And then we can run monorails here. And this is how we got that area in. Let's save this up and start doing these areas here.